Hello and welcome to Kirklees Local TV. Across the First and Second World Wars, over 83,000 Sikh soldiers gave their lives in the name of freedom and peace, with a further 109,000 wounded in battle. Those men, and in some cases boys, volunteered to fight, leaving their homes, with many never to return. Some were rewarded with medals for their service. 209 soldiers received the Indian Order of Merit, 23 the Military Cross, 706 the Indian Distinguished Service Medal, and, for a few, the highest honour for bravery a soldier can receive, the Victoria Cross. However, their place in the history books has been marginalised. To commemorate their bravery, heroism and sacrifice, a monument, commissioned by the Sikh Soldier Organisation, is to be unveiled in Greenhead Park, here in Huddersfield, on Saturday, November the 30th. The monument itself is to be a 6-foot bronze statue of a Sikh soldier in full World War I uniform. Joining me now to discuss more is the chairman of the Sikh Soldier Organisation, Mr. Tim Bhullar. Tim, thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
I'd like to start, if I may, by asking you, when did you first discover the contributions Sikh soldiers made to both war efforts?
Well, obviously I've studied in India in boarding schools as well, and I was in an area which was surrounded by the military academy. And every year we used to find out, obviously they had a Remembrance Day there as well. And when I came back into this country, I found something very missing here, which was very disturbing to me.
Right, yeah.
And what that was because I used to attend Remembrance Days here as well. One, there was hardly any knowledge about what the contribution of people from other countries did in the World War for the freedom of where we are today. And it all came about when somebody said to me, "What are you doing here?" And one of my friends was with me. He said, "Well, we need to do something." And his name was Manjit, and he said, "We need to do something." And the best way was that we thought, to do something, we have to put something in place for people to know what the sacrifices were.
So how did it feel when you learnt about the sacrifices that the soldiers made and sort of the bravery they showed, and then just how this had been ignored?
Well, obviously it was hurtful in a way, but at the end of the day, the people from the British Legion and the Veterans League, and people who were associated with the Army and the RAF and the Navy, they knew what the contribution was. But unfortunately, it's for people to tell the story, and we must not forget it's not only the Sikh and the Indian soldiers; it was people from all the Commonwealth. Mm-hmm. So we had to do something ourselves, which was obviously very disturbing and emotional. But you have to do something about it.
So, did you serve in the army yourself, or have family members that served?
I've got family members who are in the army, and a lot of friends from where I was when I was studying. They're all in the army as we speak today. So obviously, it's great to see from them now the reaction as to what we're doing, and they feel proud of it.
Yeah. Excellent. So, how did you become involved in the Sikh Soldier Organisation? Because I've had a look at this lovely booklet that has been produced by it. It's incredibly interesting and thoroughly enjoyable to read. So how did you get involved with it, and how can people get hold of this booklet?
Well, what we did was, obviously when I heard that comment made by somebody at the Remembrance Day, "What are you doing here?" obviously hit a nerve, and I thought, I'm going to get sort of like-minded people together. We sat down, a few of us sat down, and we said, well, what are we going to do? And the thing was about education was the most important thing. And how do you educate people? You either come to media like the ones that you're doing here, which is a great sort of a platform for people like us to say what we need to say and get the word out. Otherwise, then you can do it by literature. So obviously we had to produce something in a literature format, which is what it is, in a very sort of a summary of who the Sikhs are and what their contributions were. And things just went from there, and then obviously we formulated a committee of some committed lads, because everything is voluntary, and that's where it started from.
So what started the movement to create this monument?
Well, then there were different ideas. How do we do it, and what do we portray, and how do we create an image that represents not only the Sikh soldiers but people from the Commonwealth? So we thought we had different ideas, and we came up that we must make a Sikh soldier statue. And the reason behind the Sikh soldier statue is, one, it can distinguish a Sikh from a lot of communities. Well, hang on, I think that, he's from a foreign land, and obviously because the Sikhs were have contributed so much, like you've mentioned earlier, in the World Wars. Yeah. It was something that once it's been done, it would be appreciated, and that's what it was, because the Sikh regiment did fight a lot of battles in the World War with the British.
What started you to campaign for the monument?
Well, what happened was then a few of us got together and we said, what is the best way to put something in place that represents not only the Sikh soldiers but the Commonwealth itself? So we thought, right, let's thought of an idea, and we thought, right, we'll put a Sikh soldier with a turban on, and one, he'll be recognisable from wherever you go and people will know, but obviously he's from India, and obviously that means there were some foreign contributions in the World Wars by other people as well, which should never be forgotten. And that was about 10 years ago. That's what started it off.
So you've been campaigning for 10 years then?
Yes, 10 years, because the reason being that to get this in where we are getting it is where it's in Greenhead Park, which obviously is a very historical part of Huddersfield. And nothing has really been able to be put there ever in history, really, as far as we know. Then obviously we had to pass through a lot of hurdles, and we had a lot of support from not only the British Legion, the veterans, and even Kirklees Council did support us to make this happen.
So what other sort of challenges did you face with creating this monument?
The challenges were, now it's all right saying that you want a statue, then it had to be a true sort of a representation of what the World War soldier looked like at the time. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to create some sort of a story, because these soldiers came all the way from India. Yeah. So we thought of an idea that we're going to get this soldier done in India, ship it over, and the plinth will be made out of Yorkshire stone. So we amalgamated both the statue and the plinth together to give it a lovely story that these were the boys that came from there, and let's put it in place so that everybody should feel proud of it.
So there's another statue in Birmingham that was unveiled in 2018. So yes. Was this a sort of an inspiration for you?
The Birmingham boys they do have a statue, and they started a lot after us, and obviously they took a lot of information from me in terms of what you guys are doing, because like I said to you, I started 10 years ago, and 10 years ago is a long time, but we wanted it to be placed in the area like Greenhead Park, because that's where the Remembrance March starts every year. We could have had it done anywhere else 10 years ago, but that wasn't the plan. The plan is to put something in a place where it's respected, and people look up to it every year.
How did you find the artist to create the statue?
Well, I've got a friend of mine in Mumbai, and two of us went there, and we said, right, and there's a few other sculptors we saw there, and we found the work from this sculptor who's called Jaydeep Apte, he's called, and we were inspired by the works he'd done. He's only a young lad, and when you see the real actual statue next on the 30th, you will be surprised what quality it is and how good it is, and it's really a stunning sort of piece of work.
So, what did you want it to depict specifically?
Well, we didn't want him to show any sort of an anger or emotion of that sort. We just wanted him to be like a true gentleman. Yes, soldiers, sometimes you see certain statues all over the world, or they're in an aggressive mood, or they've got armour in their hands and things like that. No, we didn't want that. We wanted him to be a modest person, yeah, but at the same time, he's telling you, I do mean something, yeah. When he goes to battle, yeah, the Sikh regiment does have history behind it, which is commendable, really.
So how do you think people will react when they actually see the statue unveiled on 30th?
I think the word is they're just going to be amazed, I'll be honest with you. I think they will be amazed. I mean, I keep getting told every day, can you tell us what it looks like? Yeah, it's hidden away somewhere. Yeah, and it'll be unveiled on the day for everybody to see, and I think they'll be impressed that is a true soldier.
Lovely. Well, my thanks to Tim for coming in today and providing this great insight into a lost subject. This is Bradley Stead for KLTV. Goodbye.